Perfect World Episode 188. Jexian, the 10 Crowns King, the 6 Crowns King. Ancient freaks like Yin Chuan appeared simultaneously. Shi Hao suddenly felt a sense of helplessness. Continuing from the last episode, Shi Hao, Jianggu, and Shengzi all arrived. After all the ancient freaks of the Heavenly Kingdom were annihilated, Shi Hao seemed to sense something. He stood still and looked up at the sky. A slender figure appeared on a distant mountain. He was dressed in green, holding a jade flute. He had an aura of detachment from the mundane world, transcendental and otherworldly. Shi Hao's pupils constricted. He recognized this person because the impression was too deep. This was the mysterious man who was in seclusion in Shongchao. Judging from the situation back then, this man was the first Qi expert cultivated in Shang Valley. If he hadn't sacrificed Dragon Girl's ancestral dragon horn, Chang Gongyan's mysterious ancient palace, etc., Shi Hao and the others would most likely have died in Shongchao. Obviously, this person had already cultivated the first Immortal Qi, but remained inactive. Furthermore, he laid out a large-scale plan, killing 200,000 living beings, just to cultivate the second Immortal Qi. The path this person took was very special. Using the blood of heroes as a foundation, and the runes of all living beings as light, he tempered his body, transcending his true self. Shi Hao's heart skipped a beat. Staring at the man, even with his current strength, he couldn't see through how powerful this mysterious man was. Suddenly, on another magnificent mountain, a figure also appeared. This person was very blurry, shrouded in chaotic energy, as if about to transcend this world. Shi Hao was immediately shocked. He also wanted to know who this person was, but his intuition told him that this person was extremely mysterious and powerful. Just then, Jexian held his jade flute and played a leisurely melody. The sound was like water, transforming into silver ripples, drifting towards the person shrouded in chaotic energy. With a hum, the void trembled. Beside the person shrouded in chaotic energy, a hazy small tree appeared. With a gentle sway, all the flowing notes were blocked. At this moment, not only Shi Hao, but others also guessed that this person was the 10 Crowns King. It was rumored that he had obtained a small immortal Dao tree and planted it within his body. Everyone was shocked. These two were definitely the top 2 experts in Xiang Valley. Suddenly, a person stepped onto an ancient scroll in the void. Holy light shone, dragon patterns densely covered it. The man in white was spotless, his appearance comparable to a peerless woman. Incredibly holy, exceptionally perfect. Shi Hao's eyes twitched. This person was his nemesis, Ling Chuan, the 6 Crowns King. A terrifyingly powerful expert. After all, he had sent out a spirit body that was killed by the 30 brothers. But that didn't diminish his reputation. Especially as Shi Hao's fame grew, no one considered it his disgrace. At this time, everyone began to retreat. Because besides the 3 peerless experts, other ancient freaks had also arrived. Shi Hao, holding the Great Luo Immortal Sword, retreated a few steps. His current physical condition was very poor, unable to continue fighting, and he was wary, always feeling like he was being watched by some creature, not daring to act rashly. Everyone was speculating. Could it be that Huang had cultivated the second Immortal Qi and shocked the entire Xiang Valley ruins, attracting the attention of all the ancient freaks? But the news of Huang cultivating the second Immortal Qi hadn't spread. Someone said, "There might be something happening that we don't know about. Not all these powerful beings are necessarily targeting Huang." As expected, a magnificent palace emerged from the void, surrounded by dense, black cracks. It emanated a sacred aura and was accompanied by a wisp of immortal mist. It hasn't fully materialized. Clearly, the 3 peerless experts and those ancient freaks are all coming for it. Someone recognized it in shock as the Golden Dao Palace. It usually appears together with the Supreme Arena, but it hasn't fully manifested yet. But it will soon, maybe in half a year or maybe 10 years at most, before it completely emerges from the void. At that time, the ultimate battle within the Immortal Valley will unfold on a mysterious arena. The final victor will be teleported away to obtain the ultimate fortune. In the past, some have obtained this mysterious fortune and founded an immortal great sect in the outside world. Shi Hao secretly breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't expect that the commotion was caused by this Golden Dao Palace. This palace is very mysterious. It occasionally emits auspicious rays. Even if it doesn't fully manifest, ancient treasures sometimes fall from it. One can imagine that obtaining them would be quite a fortunate opportunity. Therefore, many ancient freaks are naturally here for it. Suddenly, a brilliant ball of light appeared, charging directly towards the golden ancient palace in the void. At this moment, both King Stonecrown and Jexian revealed a greedy look. They acted decisively and lunged forward together. Many people speculated about what that ball of light actually was, because it was only the size of a baby. It looked like a primordial spirit, or perhaps an immortal fetus. It wasn't until several powerful ancient freaks opened their celestial eyes and saw what was inside that it was finally confirmed to be an immortal fetus. It was only a little over a foot long, wreathed in chaotic mist. Like a moth to a flame, it burned away most of itself, but it refused to stop. It desperately crashed into the palace. Everyone was shocked. Even the celestial god sect master wouldn't dare to barge in so recklessly. Because there had been instances in the past where beings forced their way into the palace and were instantly reduced to ashes. After the immortal fetus successfully entered, some sharp-eyed individuals saw a golden plaque. There were 2 ancient characters on it, emitting a sacred light. It was clearly the writing of an ancient era. Some didn't recognize it, but there were experts present who recognized the 2 characters on the plaque as Jie Yin. Many people looked at the 2 characters and silently recited the name of the palace, Jie Yin, wondering what its meaning was. Shi Hao was deeply moved. When he saw the immortal fetus, he felt a sense of familiarity. He didn't recognize the immortal fetus, but the power surrounding it carried a hint of the dark prison's aura. It was very likely that it had been to the same place he had. Shi Hao widened his eyes. He guessed that when the prison was broken and the ancient saint's sons summoned their souls back, it wasn't just him. There might have been someone else who also embarked on the return journey because of it. Thinking of this possibility, Shi Hao couldn't help but feel goosebumps. Just how ancient was this old monster? After all, Shi Hao had been sealed there for a period of time that felt like tens of thousands of years. He nearly went mad. And this old monster was very likely a cultivator from the previous era. He just didn't know how it had survived. Even if it were alive, its mind must have surely collapsed. Shi Hao felt a chill run down his spine. He thought a lot. Could it be that this golden ancient palace, named Jie Yin, did it have something to do with the dark prison? Just then, beside the ancient golden palace, a blurry arena appeared. This was clearly the battleground for geniuses throughout the ages. No one could remain calm. They looked towards it, but with a sudden hum of light, the palace and the arena seemed to evaporate into thin air. They vanished instantly. Even King Stonecrown and Jexian couldn't sense where they had gone. They couldn't track them. Some speculated, puzzled. Could it be that the Golden Palace appeared solely for that immortal fetus? The area returned to tranquility. The ancient freaks felt incredibly regretful. Shi Hao knew it wasn't wise to stay and turned to leave. Suddenly, the void distorted. Someone activated their domain, confining the surrounding area and preventing Shi Hao from escaping. At the same time, some of the ancient freaks radiated coldness, releasing murderous intent. Among them, the 6-crown king, Ling Chuan, stared at Shi Hao. A middle-aged voice called out, ordering Shi Hao to stop. Shi Hao sighed softly. His greatest fear had come to pass. He had already sensed something and had been wanting to tear open the void and escape. However, his intuition told him that someone had already locked onto him and was ready to attack at any moment. That's why he hadn't dared to act rashly. But what he didn't expect was that it was a celestial being. There was nothing worse than this. The most powerful ancient beings were all gathered there. Shi Hao was in a dangerous situation. Without a word, Shi Hao grasped the Great Luo Immortal Sword, with the cursed cauldron of heavenly river water hanging above his head, and secretly held a pure white Myriad Spirits Diagram, ready for a bloody battle. He was facing a celestial being. The difference in both life level and battle prowess was immense. The celestial being spoke first. His name was Ma Yun. He told Shi Hao not to be nervous. Someone had asked him to come out of seclusion to deal with Shi Hao, but he had changed his mind. He saw that Shi Hao had cultivated 2 strands of Immortal Qi. This was an extraordinary achievement. Therefore, he sincerely invited Shi Hao to visit his clan. Shi Hao didn't believe him. Ma Yun had already arrived. If he had good intentions, Shi Hao wouldn't feel this sense of unease, this sense of danger. So Shi Hao replied, "I'm seriously injured, and I just want to find a quiet place to heal. Once I've recovered, I will definitely pay you a visit." However, Ma Yun said with a righteous tone, "Since you're injured, you should come to my clan as a guest. That way, no one will dare to bother you." He scanned the crowd, releasing an immense pressure that made many people's legs weak. They collapsed to the ground. Some of the ancient freaks in the distance knew that Ma Yun didn't have good intentions, but they didn't dare to say anything. Shi Hao continued, "Senior, I have something to do. You can't force me, can you?" He realized that Ma Yun was likely after his physical body, most likely wanting to seize it and replace him. These words clearly displeased Ma Yun. He walked forward, his gaze cold. He scolded, "Little brat, are you really not giving this old man any face? I sincerely invited you, but you didn't appreciate it. You insist on leaving." Seeing that Ma Yun was no longer speaking kindly, Shi Hao publicly tore away his hypocritical mask. Shi Hao angrily cursed, "Old scoundrel, you are utterly disgusting. Stop your nonsense. You're nothing but an old hound hired by outsiders to deal with me, and you still covet my body, cultivated with immortal qi? Have you no shame?" Ma Yuan Wenyan then stopped pretending and sealed the surrounding void, preventing Shi Hao from using his unsealing talismans. At the same time, he reached out a giant hand towards Shi Hao. Shi Hao opened the lid of the single furnace, and the Tianhe water, imbued with the power of curses, poured down, all of it falling onto the giant hand. Ma Yun sneered, "Trivial tricks, be still." In an instant, all the Tianhe water and lightning were frozen. This is the terrifying power of a celestial god. With a wave of his hand, he can destroy mountains and rivers. His power is boundless, unfathomable. Then, Ma Yun pointed a finger towards Shi Hao. Undoubtedly, this was blatant contempt for Shi Hao. This was blatant contempt for Shi Hao. Crushing him would be as easy as crushing an ant. Shi Hao glared. The opponent was too arrogant. He wanted to seize the body that Shi Hao had painstakingly cultivated with 2 strands of Immortal Qi, and he was so arrogant and domineering. It was simply unbearable. At the same time, the giant finger pressed down. Fine cracks appeared on the protective talisman on Shi Hao's body, emitting a brilliant light. It struck the giant finger. Crack! Ma Yun's face contorted, his pupils shrinking sharply. His finger was actually broken off. Blood even flowed out. This scene was unbelievable. A dignified celestial god had a finger severed by a junior. Soon, Ma Yun was furious. He stared at Shi Hao's protective talisman. This talisman, Shi Hao had obtained it when exploring the 9 Dragons' coffin. There had been a huge explosion there, even destroying the bronze box. But this guardian talisman had blocked a fatal blow for Shi Hao, remaining intact. At the time, Shi Hao realized that this guardian talisman could likely withstand a single attack from a sect leader. He hadn't expected it to come in handy today. Now, Ma Yun was enraged. He sent another giant hand crashing down, but it was again blocked by the guardian talisman. However, Ma Yun reacted quickly and wasn't injured by the talisman's reflected light. Shi Hao taunted, "Old fool, you're really not that impressive. Still trying to scare me?" However, Ma Yun was determined to capture Shi Hao and seize his body. The next moment, he used a powerful divine ability. Shi Hao, despite being attacked, continued to defend with the talisman and the Myriad Spirits Diagram. Meanwhile, in secret, he sent out a seed of the coiling weapon, which struck Ma Yun. It should be known that every strand of primordial Mother Qi could suppress him. It was incredibly terrifying. Normally, it wouldn't harm anyone, but once it erupted, it was extremely horrifying. Ma Yun's giant hand pressed down, just as it collided with the seed Shi Hao had sent out. The result was an immediate explosion. Thus, his hand was instantly shattered into pieces, blood staining the sky red. Immediately after, Shi Hao sent out the Tianhe water from the single furnace, successfully landing it on Ma Yun's wound. Ma Yun's face was contorted with rage, completely losing the dignity a celestial god should possess. Please give us a like and subscribe, fellow Taoists. Let's continue our chat in the next episode.